everybody, and welcome to our next episode of Jaschat. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Jo.
And today we're going to discuss self-care for the parents or the carers of special needs children, which I think is very important. Depending on what your situation is, depends on how much time you can devote to yourself. We always seem to come last in the looking after somebody area, but as parents it's really imperative that we do that so we can be a better parent but also a better person for ourselves. I think we tend to put ourselves at the bottom, and often, and I mean I know, as you know, I've gone on a weight loss journey this year, and I think you do tend to think, well I know with me anyway, you do tend to think that you're not worthwhile looking after, and we are worthwhile looking after, and we are worthwhile saying I can be a priority in my own life, but you don't tend to do that. You tend to obviously put your children first and foremost, but often then the husbands or the partners come in and you're sort of like, well, I've got no time left for myself, but I think it's really important.
It's what do you focus on and what are your priorities?
Yeah, and I think anyway, I'll just read a few of the bits and pieces that I've written down. I run an autism support group. I'm not suggesting that other people run an autism support group, but it is, if you have a look in your local area, there usually is a support group of some sort, or if you can't get out to meet people, there are Facebook pages. I think it's really important to get to know other parents in a similar situation. Sometimes you're not ready to do that. Some people, again, don't think that they're worthy of that. Some people think, I know we've had people come to our support group, and because originally the four original parents that started it had children who had autism as opposed to Asperger's, and people would come along who had quite high functioning children, and they would feel that they were an imposter almost in the situation, that, oh, my child isn't as bad as yours, I don't feel like I'm worthy of the support of it. But the reality is we all need help, and that's what the support groups are there for, to get to know other parents.
Yes, that's right. It's more the isolation, I think. But that's why, like, I secretly read your blog, you know, during the night kind of thing. So I mean, read and what other parents write, and there's all sorts of websites and blogs that address the situation of being a carer.
Yes.
So they can always help too. If you're not ready to talk to anybody, read blogs.
Yeah,
Which is what I did.
I mean that's the thing. Sometimes you just think, just to know that you're not alone. And again, this is why we've started this program, because there's nothing worse than being in a situation and just thinking, oh my God, it's just me. You again question your parenting, which is a horrible thing.
And you always wonder, will I ever be happy again?
Yeah. And you will.
Or will you ever live a normal life?
Yeah. But what's normal?
This is the new normal.
It is. It is. So I've said Google support groups. It's quite rewarding to talk with the parent, as I've said, but it's also very rewarding from the other end. And even doing Jaschat, we have found to be the ones with the experience. It's actually really nice to share your experiences with other parents, so that when somebody else is going through something that you've been through, to actually be able to say, well, we've actually lived through that. And we've survived it, and this is how it helped me. Not everybody's situation is the same, obviously, but that can be really helpful. Now, in that support group, we've done things like we've done an art class, we've done Pilates classes. There are different things that you can do, and again, it's depending on money and it's depending on time. Like obviously we know that there are people that work, there are people with young children, so some of these things you just can't do. They're impossible to do. They don't have the money, they don't have the time. But I know with me it's nice sometimes to just think, what do I really want to do that's something for me? It's got nothing to do with my kids, it's got nothing to do with my husband, it's just something that I've wanted to do. So I've tried to sometimes do things like that over the years, and with a support group sometimes you get that opportunity to do it because other parents are in the same situation. our support group that we started, so it might even be worthwhile ringing some community houses. We originally, I mean, we now just go out for coffee or breakfast because our kids are older, but originally we started it in a community house. They had childcare there, so if people came along and they did have young children, whether they be the ones with autism or the ones, your other children, the kids were looked after, so we could actually sit and just be with each other, and it was really nice. Or they could bring the kids in because it was just in a big room in a community house, so they didn't have to put them into childcare, but it was just the pressure was off to what am I going to do with the kids, because you can either bring them or put them into childcare.
Yeah.
So that was good, and you just got a little bit of a break.
Well, I'm just thinking in that respect, we have a Facebook page, Jaschat, which is a safe place for anybody to visit. You can private message us or write on our timeline.
Yep.
And we also have our website where
Yes.
you can directly contact us.
You can directly contact
Yeah.
us on that, and we are also happy to share your stories on our website. So if you've got something that you would like to say, please send us an email with your story, things that have helped you, and we're happy to put that onto our website.
Or even if they're looking for a support group in their particular area,
Yeah.
we're happy to do the research for that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're here for. We're here to...
Well, we want to be a resource,
Yeah,
a one-stop shop.
yeah. Now, organisations such as Uralla or Interchange, who we've spoken about before, they run special days where they'll have activities for parents, and they often will, if you need childcare, I'm pretty sure that if you tell people that, they can help assist with respite so that you can do some sort of an activity.
Yes.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of, I'm not sure whether those two actually do that, but I've heard of organisations that they've said, do you need childcare? So I
For
think if
certain
you bring
activities they do, they'll
Yeah.
provide staff. Yeah, you just need to ask the right questions
Yeah,
in regard to what activities you attend. Because some may just be parents,
yeah,
and then and some may be parents and children with carers. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, well, they're good, those organisations, and then again you meet like-minded parents. I guess the other thing is as well though is that it depends. I mean, you might want to get away from the whole autism thing, so it might be that you want to do something that doesn't remind you of any of that. So it just depends, you know. Sometimes you want to meet other parents that have got kids with autism. Sometimes you just think, I don't even want to talk about it. So, you know, it depends on what it is that makes you feel better about yourself, really.
although I find that sometimes it's comforting to be with other parents that have kids with autism.
Oh, so do I.
Because
Sometimes it can be draining though, depending on the parent.
depending on the parent, but you choose.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't want so-and-so talking about how their child does not stop talking,
Yeah.
does not stop reciting poetry in the times tables and stuff, you know, when you have a non-verbal child.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is as well, is sometimes it goes beyond, I mean, we've discussed this before, where you make friends to do with your child, and it's quite an intense friendship because you've got this bond that other people don't have. I went out with my support group on Sunday for breakfast, and we barely even talk about the kids now because it's gone beyond that. We're just really good friends, we've been away for weekends, and it's lovely. And it just is us being good friends. So, but at the same time, you know, this pops up in conversation or that pops up in conversation, and you can just chat. But it's not really anymore about getting guest speakers in and things like that, which we've done in the past because we've sort of all grown, the kids have all grown up a little bit. But it's just nice to have that resource there.
You come to a point where you can just laugh about the idiosyncrasies that your kids have, or that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you tend to think you're a little bit
I'm a
mad.
little bit aspy. I think we've all got things. I've got obsessive compulsive tendencies that I just look at Beth sometimes and I think, oh God, I don't know where she gets it from. So now, if time and money is tight, and it usually is, try to even just have some time out to do something at home. There's always something that you can do, whether it is reading a book for 5 minutes, go for a walk. You know, the weather now is getting nicer, so even if you go for a walk first thing in the morning, if you've got a dog, say, because you wouldn't necessarily want to go for a walk at 6 o'clock in the morning by yourself.
I suppose you could watch Jerry Springer, or is that still on?
Still on?
I don't know, but that always made me feel better, even before children.
I heard that with Super Nanny.
Oh, the Super Nanny, yes.
If you want to believe that you're a crap parent, watch Super Nanny.
That's right, exactly. Dr. Phil's a good one too.
Yes. Yeah. So, or, you know, as I say, go for a walk, have a bath, and I, you know, not harping on the exercise thing at all, but I've just got on the exercise bandwagon, and I find that even a little bit of exercise, it just changes your brain. It makes you feel better about yourself. So even if you're doing something like that,
because you know that you're taking a positive step, doing something positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just do something positive.
Yeah. Watch your favourite TV show.
Yeah.
I find that one of the things I've learnt, you know, as you know, Joe, I had a pretty crappy year the last year. My father passed away last year, and so at the beginning of this year I was quite a lot heavier, and I said to myself, you know what, I can't control my dad dying, I can't control Beth having autism, I can control myself, I can control what I eat. And I found having that little bit of control, and I lost my weight, and then I got my brain tumour, which I've had removed since then.
Not related though,
Not related
the brain
at all.
tumour, so.
No, but it was again something else I didn't have control over, because I was in the process of losing my weight at that stage. It was like I'm holding on to this little bit of control that I have had. And it gives you a little bit of self-esteem. It just, if you can control some aspects of this hectic life that is autism,
yes,
it just makes you feel a little bit empowered. So I just think, yeah, if there's something that you can control, if there's something that you can do for yourself. And with my weight loss thing, you know, like I've been doing shakes, and they actually work out cheaper than eating. So, you know, people often have excuses to not do things, especially if it's for themselves. So you could say something, oh, I've tried that, or it's this, but sometimes it comes down to, do you want to do this or do you not want to, and do you want to do something for yourself?
Well, I know some people, well, one person in particular. So when her son was diagnosed, she started decorating cakes. Okay. And she just does the most amazing cakes.
Yeah.
And you know, some people, they start a blog. And that doesn't cost anything.
No, that's right. That doesn't cost anything, and you're able to do it at home.
Well, you did it.
Get it out there, yeah.
That's right. And you could virtually do anything. Look at us. You know, we're doing this. This is more passion rather than anything else. But I find that online browsing of shopping websites,
I find that dangerous.
it is dangerous, but you know, I like to live on the edge.
Yes.
Makes you feel alive.
So a couple of things that you can do for yourself that don't require time or anything, but just some things to be mindful of. Don't double book. If you've scheduled in something for yourself, and schedule it in, put it in your diary and say, I'm going for a walk, or like I go to the gym in the mornings, because it gets it out of the way with, and I say to myself, this is what I have to do at this time of the day. So if you've done that and it's something that you're looking forward to, don't then, if someone rings, actually, you know, you don't even have to tell them what you're doing, because sometimes it's embarrassing to say, no, I'm doing something for myself, you know, like you don't want to necessarily admit it.
Don't answer the phone.
Or just say, I'm sorry, I'm busy. So don't double book yourself. Learn to say no. I found that I wanted to please others, and so I would put my hand up, volunteer to do things it was expected of me, which it wasn't necessarily. It was pressure I was putting on myself. And I didn't want to disappoint people. And then I'd say yes to things, and then I'd think, what the hell am I doing? I don't really want to do this. And so I've learnt to say, I'm sorry, no, I can't. And make something up if you don't want to actually just admit you don't want to do it. But stop saying yes to everything, because it just puts more pressure on yourself. And you know,
yeah, and if you don't know whether or not you can, just say, let me think about it. I'll go home and I'll think about it, because then at least you can come back with a yes or no. You don't have to answer straight away, and often I do that, because what may sound really good once you think about it, you may go, oh my God, I wish I didn't say yes to that because I've got this and this.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just need to take it away and think about it. And I often, that's how I make my decisions. And a no is easier kind of later when you can say, no, I've thought about it. No.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Yeah, because I tend to say the other, I'd say yes and then I'd dread it. And I think, why did I say yes to that? And I've already committed to it. And so
well, the last thing you want is to be overwhelmed. And that is probably the only time that I feel out of control is when everything's just, you know, coming down on me.
Yeah.
So, you have to know what your triggers are.
And you have to know what you want to do as well. I mean, I'm not saying say no to everything because there's things that you want to do. But I think you get to a certain age even, but a certain time in your life where you want to do the things that you want to do and you want to, you know, we've talked about it with friendships, that you don't want to leave seeing somebody thinking, oh, thank God that's over for the time being. You know, you want to leave a friendship when you've seen somebody saying, oh, I can't wait to catch up again. You know, and I think it's the same thing as time management. If you time's precious and your time is precious, and if you've got a more than hectic life, you need to do the things that actually you get pleasure out of.
That's right. But you may not necessarily know what you want to do, but you may know what you don't want to do as well.
Yeah.
So it's important to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Know what you don't want to do and what you don't want to get involved in.
Yeah, exactly. Learn some quick fixes. So if you've only got a few minutes, you know, like if we're talking about someone, we get there's people who have got toddlers, they're with them 24/7, they don't have money, they might be single parents. You know, like let's look at worst case scenario. Clearly you've got internet because otherwise you wouldn't be watching our show.
Yep.
Look on the internet at 5-minute breathing exercises or meditation exercises. There's quite a lot of them if you have a look on there. Just give yourself time to just breathe for 5 minutes or do some stretches.
Or put your head in the fridge.
Something I don't know what to say to that. Something that will recharge you for 5 minutes. At least you didn't say put your head in the oven. Something that will just recharge you for 5 minutes. So, you know, there's always something that you can do. Always. Now, we had a look as well, which I thought was pretty good, is an app called Reach Out Worry Time, which Jo's just showing you now. It's a free mobile app that gives you a place to store your worries and alerts you when it's time to think about them. When a worry no longer matters to you, you can ditch it and move on. And I really like this idea. So it also gives you somewhere to write down your solutions. So a little bit like with school, like with Beth, we used to have a meeting, and it might be, say for example, what I was saying about I think it was in the last episode actually, how Beth would run out of the classroom if a noise happened. And so we would go into the meeting and we'd say, this is the behaviour that we're trying to curb, and this is the way that we're going to try and do it. And you'd try and get it to 100%, but if you couldn't, you'd get it to say 50%. With the worry app, you might say, all right, my worry is
Sarah. So
your worry is and then you can write down a solution, or 2 solutions, or 3 solutions, and it gives you might say, I'm happy to worry about this for 5 minutes a day, so it gives you a 5-minute time to worry about it, and then you put it away out of your head for the rest of the time. I think that's a bit of a fun idea.
And then you can scrunch her up and throw her out.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't scrunch me up and throw me out, but
well,
you're stuck with me.
You worry.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's quite a fun little idea. I think it's quite
well, look, what it will do is it's going to take you away from your whatever you're worrying about anyway.
Yeah, it's allowing you to worry about that for the amount of time that
and you can just laugh that there is actually an app.
I know.
That takes your worries away.
Yeah, and that's from Reach Out. So they've got other ideas on their website as well for what to do with managing anxiety and what have you. But we just thought we'd just give you a few little ideas of what to do. But just remember, you are important. Not you, but you are important. You are worthy and you are worthwhile for yourself and for your family.
And that if you do not care for yourself, you won't be able to care for the ones you love.
Exactly. Now, as we've said in our last episode, but I'll say it again, we've got this wonderful giveaway for subscribing to our website at www.jaschat.com. It's a bag that's been donated by Urban Treehouse Designs, and it's lovely. Its retail value is $47.50. Vicky has made it. She's fantastic. She's made me several of my bags and a couple for my kids as well. She's
got
terrific.
quality fixtures.
Absolutely, and it fits your tablet in it, and it's really good.
And
so
it's a nice heavy duty material.
Yeah. So if you go onto our website and you subscribe to our website, you'll be in the running to win this fabulous bag that we'll draw that in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes.
Okay, so thanks for watching. Look after yourself and you.
I'll try.
Okay, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.